After reviewing the spate of gang-ups against the Igbo by the rest of Nigeria in recent times, and more importantly, after efforts to get all the former component nations of Biafra to jointly put hands together to restore the Biafra of 1967 to 1970. Most of them are obviously unwilling and presented the images of unwilling partners. It is my conclusion, and I'm sure those of others who are very keen observers, that the best way forward is for each of these component nations of Biafra to go about their separate quest for self-determination. Let Ijo Biafrans, Efik Biafrans, Ibibio Biafrans, Anang Biafrans, Igbo Biafrans, and so on and so forth, go and aspire for or pursue their own self-determination, whether it is internal self-determination, in which case self-determination within the context of the Nigerian state, or external self-determination, which is outright independence. To be realistic, I am reading out what I wrote and I will explain it. To be realistic, it is time for the map of the first Republic of Biafra, or the first Biafra Republic, to be redrawn within the context of each component nation going it alone on their own volition, not within the context of imposing Biafra ideology on an unwilling partners and in the process impeding the progress of others. It is time for Igbo Biafra self-determination. And for avoidance of doubt, and with reference to this map as regards the Igbo Biafra self-determination, Igbo Biafra nation, the homeland remains the territory of the present southeast states in Nigeria, not any other place. Unlike those who have now come out and be telling you that the map of Biafra has already been redrawn, that they have gone too far. What are they talking about? Quite different from what we are talking about here. What we are talking about is each of the component nations that made up Biafra of 1967 to 1970, and who are today unwilling to join hands together to restore Biafra, to go their individual separate ways in their quest for their own self-determination at their own pace and at their own volition. Not what some people are now telling you today. They stay where they are and tell you somebody from Igbo nation going into a job and creating a state there. That is still doing the old things that have not yielded any result over and over again. And they are expecting to get fantastic changes and positive feedback. Let them go and try it. I am talking with experience, and I am talking with every amount of conviction. It is verifiable. So I will continue. Why it is a verifiable fact that there were Igbo communities that were uprooted and against their will made to be part of other territories in the South and the Middle Belt regions in Nigeria as a result of the delineation of boundaries occasioned by the questionable state creation. It is for these Igbo communities to decide in a plebiscite or referendum, as the case may be, if they so wish, when the time is ripe, whether they will join the Igbo nation or the Igbos in the homeland. It is time for Igbo Biafra nationalism or Igbo Biafra self-determination, for the emancipation of Igbo nation state. The goal of Igbo Biafra nationalism, Igbo Biafra self-determination, is for the survival and emancipation of the Igbo nation state. When I talk about Igbo nation state, I mean a nation state where culture, language, and everything about tradition are homogeneous. It's as simple as that. It is the same thing in other places in Biafra land. If the Igbo Biafrans must make progress, there is no need imposing the Biafra ideology on an unwilling partners. You may be doing this in good faith, but the question is, are the people, the former component nations, willing and able to follow you? Or is it acceptable to them? The question are many and varied, and we have seen it today. Not all of them are willing to join in the present restoration effort, and therefore it is only animals that doesn't have the capacity of rational reasoning. But as long as we are humans, it is time for us to stand back and do some kind of appraisal on the journey so far. And I can tell you authoritatively, go to heaven and come back, go to hell and come back. You will still realize what we're talking about today. It is unreasonable. It is a waste of effort. It is, fruitless for anybody or group of people within the context of the Biafra of 1967 to 1970 to begin to or continue to sell the idea of Biafra ideology to an unwilling partner nations. The best approach is for each and every one of them to go in their separate ways. And if there is need for alliance, for avoidance of doubt in the future, then let it be the alliance of the willing nations, not the alliance of the grudging and grumbling nations. It will be out of one's own volition. It will be totally acceptable among all the nations, just like you have it today in the United Kingdom. You have the Act of the Union, where Scotland and Wales signed an agreement for them to be in the Union, and then Northern Ireland. So as we have it today in Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and then as we had it before in the USSR, is it the United Soviet Socialist Republic or something like that? So if the former nations of Biafra will develop at their own pace, with their own culture, with their own language, with their own people, and with their own government, and in the future there is need for the union to come together, then it will be understandable. It will be, that ceremony will not be performed in the secret, it will be in the open. So that is number one. A lot of things have to be said in this. It is not about I like UTMF4, I don't like UTMF4. After, if you want to make progress, you do the right thing. The Igbo Biafrans must focus once again, very important, on self-preservation and internal coherence while looking outwards. There is no other way. If you have your own way, you bring it. Now, let me come back to those who said that the map of Biafra has already been redrawn. You see, there is no need giving people fake promises. If the map of Biafra has been redrawn along the line of imposing Biafra ideology on territories that are unwilling, then let those people who actually are claiming that map of Biafra has been redrawn along that line go and try. What we are saying here is not about Biafra of 1967 to 1970. No, it is about individual nations of that Biafra of 1967 to 1970 going on their own separate political and economic and cultural development. So what we had before is a situation where in the quest for restoration of Biafra, one particular nation appears to dominate everywhere. The question is why? If you are doubting what we are saying, the question is why. The reason is that other component nations have different agenda on their table. There is mutual suspicion. There is no sincerity, or they are afraid that one nation is going to dominate the other. And this has been for quite some time. Nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to look into the issue. Nobody wants to say anything regarding it. Nobody wants to say it. And it keeps wrangling. So this time around, we have done appraisal. We have looked into what the issue is. And nobody can be in denial. The truth about it is that these component nations, Igbo, Biafra Nation, Ijo Biafra Nation, Ibibio, Efik, name them, all of them, they have come to a stage where they have developed. They now have population, they have people, they have land, they have territory, they have their own culture, they have developed their linguistic affinity, very innate, very natural to them. They also have government at both local and state levels. So they have, within the context of self-determination, the right to aspire to their own political future, to choose a particular political destination that actually is suited to them. So the best approach remains that these nations go on self-determination according to their own volition, in their own quest, and at their own pace. If there is need for alliance in the future, then that can be cemented. For us here on this platform, we are talking about Igbo Biafra self-determination. There is no need former component nations of Biafra impeding on the progress of others. Let everyone freely and out of their own volition go it alone. So, and I'm coming to those who are saying they have redrawn the map of Biafra already and that they have gone far. I put it to you, those who are listening, I am a believer on getting it right rather than bungling the process and telling people what they want to hear. It may take some time, but the truth will come out. The Igbo Biafrans have what it takes to aspire to their own self-determination, whether it is internal within Nigeria or external, which is outright independence. The same with Ijo Biafrans. They have what it takes to aspire to their own self-determination, whether it is internal within Nigeria or external, outright independence. And so, Somebody saying your generation will suffer for this. My generation will suffer for what? Your generation is already suffering. What are we talking about? What indeed are you talking about? If you want to debate me, you come on here. Give me the reason why you are saying what you're saying. We are talking about Biafra restoration. And in the journey for Biafra restoration, you appear to have other nations not willing to come on. The reason is that they don't want to. Some have even professed that they don't want to be part of Biafra. Then let individual nations of Biafra go it alone. Let Igbo nation go on their own separate self-determination, independence, external self-determination, or if they choose internal self-determination. It doesn't change anything. It is still self-determination. Self-determination is self-determination. If I die in shame, then you will die in mega shame. Every time these IPONC, ESN, Onongo men, bingos will be going around pronouncing death on people, I will announce your death. Mark it. Let somebody who know you, even as you hide in that your fake account, I will preside over your funeral. That will be alive on the day you will be buried. I judge you for your own dollar. How much did they pay? Everything is about money for all of it. That is why you people have destroyed the Biafra restoration effort. Criminalize it from head to bottom. Your flippant leader, Supreme Lion Nnamdi Kanu, that is the reason why he has single-handedly brought Biafra restoration to a state of arrested development. Accusing people blindly. Now, you people were accusing anybody that says something that is contrary. You cannot dispute what I'm saying. You know within your heart that what I am saying is correct. But because it is not you that said it, you will not, have peace. So come on with it. You will remain restless while I continue to say what I'm saying. IPONC IPOB, under the leadership of the supreme liar, Nnamdi Kanu, the ingrate, destroyed, criminalized the Biafra Restoration Project by lying against innocent people. Today, the same lie that you are telling people, or you are lying against people, is the same lie you are lying against yourselves. Now, some of you are saying, oh, you didn't verify. You lied against principal officer. The same so-called principal officers, sycophants, were the people lying. The same your supreme liar, Nnamdi Kanu, was lying against innocent people. He lied against me. But today, and he told you all the lies. You didn't want to verify. But today, you want to go and verify. Let me tell you, it is too late for all of you. I'm telling you, it's too late. And anything you want, I will give it to you. And I am the final terminal for all of you. Some of you will say, oh, before you will die, you have lied to the whole world that I died in Dubai. I never went to Dubai. And that dent will remain. I haven't even said anything or done anything against all of you. And you are suffering, destroying yourselves. All of you will continue to disintegrate into criminal gangs. And you continue to destroy yourselves by yourselves for crossing the line. You are restoring Biafra. But your restoration of Biafra to you means and translates into slaughtering innocent, vulnerable Igbo Biafra sons and daughters and blaming non-existent enemy. I will not be here and be looking at you, and you continue to do that. Now all of you are denying the killers, the destroyers of Biafra land, Igbo land, are now turning into human rights crusaders. You people, ESN, IPONC, IPOB, you are responsible for 80% of the killings, the slaughtering, the beheading of Igbo sons and daughters in Biafra land. I am the one saying it. and evidences abound. Some of you are working with politicians who are also killing. So what are we talking about? What are you talking about? You were warned ahead of time. Today, you are spending your time trying to exonerate yourself. These are the things. But it's too difficult. It's too difficult because you cannot exonerate yourself from the atrocities you committed in broad daylight with evidence everywhere, and then turn around in the same broad daylight to begin to deny. What an abomination. What an atrocity. What a desecration of Igbo land. The spirit of the land, the forces of heaven and earth will continue to pursue all of you who are responsible for this sacrilege. I don't hide my own. I'm not mincing words. If you know the one I did, just tell me. But for you to be lying, for you to be, the lies that you instituted, and especially against innocent people, that is what is destroying all of you. Look at how all of you are intertwined. IPONK IPOB is divided into 5 different criminal gangs. And you have the temerity to be talking to me. If I work against you, all of you will go. What is dealing with all of you is the spirit of the land, the forces of heaven and earth, which are against all of you for the atrocities that you have committed in broad daylight. Your supreme liar, Nnamdi Kanu, was the betrayer because he betrayed the Biafra cause. And all of you are protecting him. He specializes in destroying people's character in order to grow. That is not how to. And that is why everything is boomeranging. And he does what he does. That person will be stoned. But if he does his own, he will be marching naked. Unbelievable. The spirit of the land and the forces of heaven and earth are already haunting all of you, and you are praying that they will haunt me. Why have they not started haunting me? This person that hides under this fake account, you will never know peace. I am saying it. Whoever knows you will give report. The forces of heaven and earth will suffocate you because your hands are not clean. You are a criminal. So, I have said what I've said. If you like it, that's your business. If you don't like it, that's your business. But the point is that the Biafra of 1967 Republic map has to be redrawn. And redrawing of that map means individual component nations going their separate ways according to their own view and philosophy of self-determination and according to their own pace. The Igbo Biafran nation can stand on their own. Ibibio nation can stand on their own. Efik can stand on their own. Ijo can stand on their own. If, for every instance, there is need for them to come together in an alliance, that's fantastic. Otherwise, let none impede on the progress of the other. It is time for Igbo Biafra nationalism. And based on the gang up by the rest of Nigeria against the Igbos, it is all the more imperative that self-preservation on the part of the Igbos remain paramount. You have to protect yourself. You have to think about yourself. If you are an Igbo man, anywhere you are, it doesn't matter whether you are in the mainland Igbo part of Biafra land, or you are in other parts, you remain an Igbo man or Igbo woman. Igbo consciousness, protect yourselves against aggression. Go for your economic and social and political development. The Igbo political leaders must begin the important quest for negotiation with Nigerian state. The governors, Johannes and Igbos, name them. All those who are playing important part in the lives of Igbos must begin the important journey to negotiating the future of Igbo nation, either within or outside Nigeria. They must begin the negotiation with the Nigerian state by asking important salient questions. If they don't do it, that is all the more where, if you protest against them, if you take any civil disobedience action against them, that will be justified. The political office holders in Biafra land, from state houses of assembly to governors to senators to House of Rep members, must come together, including socio-cultural organization or Hanez and Igbo, must come together and begin an important national question or national project on Igbo question, on Igbo nation and her future in Nigeria. The Nigerian state must be asked the question, why is it that the Igbos are marginalized? Why is it that nothing is working in the Igbo nation? If they cannot allow the Igbos their rightful place within the Nigerian state, then why are you holding them? Why is it that among all the regions in Nigeria, that the Southeast is the only region that has 5 states, others have 6? That is an important breach. That is a very huge marginalization. That is a very difficult reality that cannot be taken lying low. Can the Nigerian state officials give any reason why the Southeast region, the Igbos, the homeland of the Igbos, will have 5 states while others will have 6? That alone is an indication that the Igbos are not wanted in Nigeria. But let it be on record that the Igbo political leaders, office holders, begin to ask these questions openly, so that it will be recorded, so that it will be, be open to everyone. You need to ask this question. You need to confront the Nigerian state officials. If the Igbos cannot be made to be part and parcel of the union that they are part of, then why are you holding them? What then will prevent them from going their separate way? Why is it that the Igbos are underrepresented in Nigerian political offices, at the National Assembly, at the and other areas of appointment? Why is it that the federal character is not working where it comes to the Igbos within the Nigerian state? These are important, significant breaches by the Nigerian state against the Igbos. Why is it that they are the political office holders, the political representatives are not asking these questions and taking action against it? They must begin to ask that question in a formal sense. Why are they not staging walkout? If there is no reparation, if there is no end in sight of this marginalization, of this discrimination, of this injustice, then the Igbo legal representatives, the governors, the state houses of assembly members, the senators, and the House of Rep must prepare legal bundle and make complaint in the floor of United Nations as well as the International Court of Justice. There is no other way you can get this issue sorted out. There is no other way you can get this issue sorted out. Why is it that Igbo businessmen are targeted for total extermination and destruction, and then the political leaders in Igbo land are keeping quiet? As you speak now, it is happening in Lagos. For the past 2-3 weeks now, it has been, free for all against the Igbo traders in Lagos. Why is that? Why is it that the governors, why is it that the state House of Assembly members, why is it that the senators, why is it that the House of Rep members from the Southeast are still mute over this? Why are they playing hanky-panky? Why are they playing the lie with the lives of Igbos in Lagos? Why is it that they have not raised inquiry into all these atrocities? The worst aspect of it is that this is not an accident. This is something that has been happening. This is something that has been entrenched. Why is it that they have not raised an eyebrow regarding all these things? Because evidence abound. These are some of the issues that must be raised, that must be openly placed along the corridors of power. And if nothing is done, the Igbo nation and her people have every right through their political and legal representatives to go to ECOWAS, to go to African Union, to go to United Nations simultaneously. It involves huge amount of human and financial resources, and the Igbo nation is in position to do all this. That will form the basis for genuine quest for self-determination. Why is it that the Igbo political elites, political leaders, cannot negotiate greater autonomy for the Igbos? If you don't want outright independence, why is it that you cannot negotiate greater autonomy within the Nigerian state for the Igbos to have their own status, their own aspirations respected? You have everything it takes. Why is it that the Southeast state houses of assembly members cannot come together and pass an important economic security bill in the region and stand by it? Why is it that they cannot do that? Because at any particular point in time, I will always make reference to the Amotekun bill passed by the Southwest region on important security project. The whole of the Southwest State Assembly passed the bill on security called Amotekun. They passed it into law. What did the Nigerian state do? What did Abuja do? They had nothing to say other than to come for negotiation. It is the same way that if the whole of the Southeast region and her assembly, state assemblies, pass a bill on an important economic, important security issue, and it becomes law, there is nothing the Nigerian state, the Fulani controlled Nigerian government can do other than for them to come for negotiation. Why is it that this has not been done? It is simply because these political representatives do not have the interest of the people at heart. And that brings me to those who are talking about sit at home, civil disobedience and things like that. And in the process, used it to destroy innocent lives, to destroy businesses belonging to ordinary people. Why is it that you cannot extend sit at home as a form of civil disobedience to political office holders who are not actually living up to expectation? Why can't you, and why did you not use sit at home to force these political office holders to do something in this direction? Why is it that you, instead of doing that, you went about slaughtering innocent Igbo sons and daughters in the name of freedom? Believe it or not, these atrocities cannot go unpunished, either spiritually or physically, or otherwise. So, a lot of things will have to be said in this direction. It is time for Igbo Biafra self-determination. It is time for Ijo Biafra self-determination. It is time for Efik Biafra self-determination. Anang and the rest of them, and across board. Because none of these nations want to jointly restore Biafra of 1967 to 1970. Therefore, why are these nations wasting each other's time? And for the fact that all of them now have advanced culture, advanced linguistic and cultural traditions. They have territory, they have people, the population, they have some form of government, both at the local and the state levels. They can now stand on their own. It's as simple as that. Nigerian government is sponsoring me. Who is sponsoring your supreme liar, Nnamdi Kanu the ingrate? As we speak now, he is having meetings with Southeast politicians. And he is not working with politicians. Every time it's about money. They have settled you. They have settled you. And this thing came from your supreme liar, Nnamdi Kanu. August Organa as Jesus. But in my own case, after lying, all those lies will boomerang and destroy all of you. All the people you lied against, their indignation cannot be taken for granted. And I can tell you, look at yourselves today and see where you are. I'm not missing words. All of you shall continue to disintegrate into criminal gangs. And you will continue to destroy yourselves by yourselves. And you will cross the line, slaughtering Igbo, Biafra, sons and daughters, all in the name of freedom, all in the name of blaming non-existent enemies. I will come back for part 2 of this program. My name is Richard M4, and I have reached you from London. Thank you.